Long ago, before tall buildings replaced farmlands and before roads cut through forest, there was a village called Kejoni. Kejoni sat quietly between open grassland and thick forest, a place where mornings smelled of fresh earth and evenings echoed with laughter. The people of Kejoni lived simple lives. They farmed the land, raised animals, and shared everything. When one family cooked, neighbors ate. When one roof leaked, the whole village repaired it. Life was not rich, but it was full. At the very center of Kejoni stood something older than the village itself. A giant baobab tree. The tree was impossible to ignore. Its trunk was so wide that 10 grown men holding hands could not surround it. Its roots rose above the ground like ancient snakes frozen in time, and its branches stretched outward like arms watching over the village. Children played around it. Elders rested beneath its shade. Travelers used it as a landmark, saying, "When you see the great baobab, you have reached Kejoni." But few people truly respected it. The elders used to tell stories about the tree. They said it was planted by the ancestors. They said spirits rested within it. They said the tree listened, watched, and remembered everything that happened around it. As time passed, those stories became jokes. The younger generation laughed at them. Life felt permanent. Safe. Predictable. Until the rain stopped coming. At first, no one was worried. One missed rainfall meant nothing. The farmers waited. They always did. But days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. The sky stayed clear and empty. The sun burned hotter than ever before. The soil cracked like broken pottery. The river that fed the village slowly shrunk, then thinned into a narrow stream, then disappeared completely. Crops dried up before they could grow. Leaves turned yellow and fell. Hunger arrived quietly. Children began to cry at night. Animals grew thin and weak. Meals became smaller. Still, the villagers hoped. They believed rain would come tomorrow. Or next week. Or next month. But it never did. Soon, hope became fear. Elders gathered every morning, staring at the sky. Women walked farther and farther in search of water. Men dug deeper into the earth, only to find dust. The land that had always fed them had turned its back. The baobab tree remained unchanged. Its leaves stayed green. Its trunk stayed strong. It stood unmoved, watching everything. One evening, as hunger spread and patience faded, the villagers gathered under the baobab. Not out of belief, but out of desperation. Old stories returned to memory. Some remembered their grandmothers whispering that the tree was alive. Some remembered warnings never to harm it. Some remembered songs once sung beneath it, songs no one sang anymore. That night, the village went to sleep hungry once again. The moon climbed high into the sky. The wind was still. Even insects were silent. Then, from the heart of the baobab tree, a deep voice rose. It was slow. It was heavy. It sounded older than time itself. The voice filled the air, not loud, but impossible to ignore. People rushed out of their homes in fear. Torches flickered. Hands shook. Hearts raced. The baobab tree was speaking. The voice spoke of memory. It spoke of neglect. It spoke of broken balance. It reminded the villagers that the land and the people were once one. That offerings were once made, not of blood, but of respect. That trees were honored, rivers protected, and greed controlled. The voice told them the drought was not a punishment, but a result. The villagers listened in shock, fear, and disbelief. Then the tree offered them hope. It said the land could be healed. The rain could return. Life could continue. But nothing in this world comes freely. The tree demanded a sacrifice. Not animals. Not crops. Not gold. A human life. Panic spread through the village. Tears fell. Anger rose. How could survivor demand such a price? The voice faded, leaving the village in darkness and confusion. Morning came, bringing no rain. Only more hunger. Children grew weaker. Old people struggled to stand. The sick had no strength to fight. The elders met again, torn between horror and reality. They argued through the day and into the night. Some said it was better to die together than kill one of their own. Others said refusing meant everyone would perish. No decision was reached. That night, as the village slept, one young man lay awake. His name was Kofi. Kofi was strong, young, and full of life. He had laughed at the old stories before. He had mocked the idea of a talking tree. Now those same stories haunted his thoughts. He watched his little siblings sleep, their stomachs empty. He remembered his mother crying quietly when she thought no one was listening. By morning, Kofi made his choice. He stood before the elders and offered himself. The village erupted in grief. People begged him to stop. They told him his life mattered. But Kofi believed that a life given to save many was not wasted. That night, the village gathered beneath the baobab tree for the final time. The air felt heavy. The sky darkened. Kofi stepped forward alone. The earth trembled. The roots of the baobab slowly rose and wrapped around him, gentle but firm, like arms accepting a gift. Light flashed. When it faded, Kofi was gone. Silence followed. Then thunder roared. Rain poured from the sky, heavy and unstoppable. The land drank deeply. Rivers returned. Crops rose from the soil almost immediately. The village was saved. But joy felt incomplete. The rain continued for days. Life slowly returned to normal. Animals regained strength. Children laughed again. Yet every time the villagers passed the baobab tree, their hearts felt heavy. One final night, the baobab spoke again. The voice told them the truth. The sacrifice was never meant to be human. The real sacrifice was care, respect, and balance. If the land had been honored, if greed had not replaced gratitude, no life would have been taken. The tree said it would never speak again. And it never did. The baobab still stands in Kejoni today. Silent. Watching. Remembering. And the people of Kejoni learned a lesson passed down through generations. When humans forget their duty to the land collects its debt. And sometimes, the price is higher than anyone expects.